Hello, welcome to the video tour of World War II Remembered Leaders, Battles, and Heroes. I'm William Snyder, curator of the Eisenhower Presidential Library Museum and Boyhood Home in Abilene, Kansas. This exhibit will be on display through December 2016. With such an expansive topic as World War II, this exhibit is designed in a way that it will constantly change. Artifacts will be rotated frequently, and additional stories will be added as we progress through the timeline of the war. As you move through the exhibit in real life, you will note the timeline of the war on your right-hand side and more in-depth information on your left. We are pleased to display a number of artifacts not only from our own collection, but items borrowed from around the world. One of the artifacts we have on display is this Blue Star flag. It symbolizes how many family members served in the armed forces. It was usually displayed in a window for the neighborhood to view. This particular flag belonged to Mrs. Elizabeth Emming, who had several family members serve during World War II, including 4 sons and a daughter. They served all over the world, including New Guinea, the China-Burma-India Theater, and stateside. One of the artifacts that we borrowed from the Department of the Navy is the Big Eye binoculars from the USS Missouri. This was the last battleship built by the United States. The Missouri entered service in 1944 and was not decommissioned until 1992. It served in the Pacific Theater during World War II and provided shore bombardment during the battles on Iwo Jima and Okinawa. Missouri is perhaps most famous as the location where the Japanese formally signed the Instrument of Surrender that ended World War II. An artifact that we have pulled from the Presidential Library collection is this telegram draft. President Roosevelt wrote this message to inform Joe Stalin that General Eisenhower would command the Operation Overlord. Beneath Roosevelt's text is a handwritten message from General George Marshall, the United States Army Chief of Staff, which reads, Cairo, December 7, '43. Dear Eisenhower, I thought you would like to have this as a memento. It was written very hurriedly by me as the final meeting broke up yesterday, the President saying it immediately. All branches of the German military, as well as many ministries of the Third Reich, used Enigma cipher machines to encode and decode sensitive information. This particular machine is a 3-rotor government model manufactured in 1937. During the Battle of the Atlantic, Enigma machines played a critical role in allowing the Nazi Navy to coordinate U-boat attacks against Allied convoys. This particular model is on loan courtesy of the National Cryptologic Museum. We are pleased to have this item on loan courtesy of the Department of the Navy, Naval History and Heritage Command. The Navy Medal of Honor, established on December 21, 1861, is the nation's oldest continuously awarded decoration. During World War II, 57 members of the Navy, 82 members of the Marine Corps, and 1 member of the Coast Guard earned Navy Medals of Honor. Over half of all Medals of Honor awarded during the war were granted posthumously. Just as the Nazis had the top-secret Enigma machine, the Allies had the top-secret Morden bomb sight. The Morden was a highly classified mechanical targeting system that connected to a plane's autopilot in order to enable the bombardier to launch accurate strikes. But even under ideal conditions, it was estimated that a single B-17 had just over a 1% chance of hitting its intended target. Both the U.S. Navy and the U.S. Army Air Corps used Morden bomb sights in their aircraft. This example is on loan courtesy of the National Museum of the United States Air Force, Dayton, Ohio. Rosie the Riveter, the icon versus the woman. The icon of Rosie the Riveter was created by a song written by Red Evans and John Jacob Leib. When it was released in February 1943, it became an instant hit. It was not intended to be about a particular woman, but represented the estimated 6 million women who entered the workforce during the war. The image of the strong but feminine industrial worker was used in many publicity campaigns. The famous graphic of a woman rolling up her sleeves saying, "We can do it," is often mistaken as Rosie the Riveter. However, it was created by J. Howard Miller in 1943 for the Westinghouse Corporation. Geraldine Dole was 17 when a photo of her working at a metal factory in Ann Arbor, Michigan was taken and inspired the iconic image. Today, Rosie the Riveter has become an icon representing the independent woman. Her image of strength and can-do attitude is inspirational. One of the personal stories we showcase in the exhibit is of a local Kansas woman. Dorothy Doll was born in Clifton, Kansas in 1919. She joined the WACs in 1943 and worked as a clerk throughout the war. Promoted to sergeant, Dorothy Doll was stationed in Australia, New Guinea, and the Philippines. We are still collecting personal stories. If you would like to send us yours, please use our contact information you will find at the end of the video. The lives of Japanese Americans changed forever on December 7, 1941. After Pearl Harbor, the American military leadership questioned the Japanese Americans' loyalty. Out of fear of foreign espionage, President Roosevelt signed Executive Order 9066 in February 1942, authorizing 120,000 people of Japanese descent to be rounded up and detained in internment camps. Despite security concerns, no Japanese American was ever convicted of spy activity. Approximately 2/3 were American citizens. The Holocaust is a historic event which brings to mind concentration camps, gas chambers, and a mass of dead bodies. Approximately 6 million Jews were methodically murdered in Europe. During this time, Germans targeted gypsies, political prisoners, male homosexuals, and people with disabilities, as well as Soviet prisoners of war. These groups were all considered inferior to the Aryan ideal Adolf Hitler believed in, and the death toll was on a very large scale. This lamp of freedom from our very own collection was presented to President Eisenhower by the United Jewish Appeal for helping the victims of Nazi tyranny. This antique oil lamp dates from approximately 50 AD. It was excavated from an archaeological dig in Israel. I hope you enjoyed the video tour and are busy planning your trip to visit us in real life. The Eisenhower Presidential Library, Museum, and Boyhood Home is located in Abilene, Kansas, just 2 miles south of I-70 at exit 275. We are open 7 days a week and closed on Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's Day. For more details, please visit our website at www.eisenhower.archives.gov or facebook.com/Ike Library.